How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to Continues to Tick. Look at that. Another 7 days have gone by and we find ourselves nearing the crossing now of the midway mark of June 2021. It continually just baffles my mind how quickly, if you don't take the time to notice, time just goes by and continually we get older, either finding ourselves with more opportunity or less opportunity. And we do have some say in that. Understanding and being aware of the tendency of time and its ability to pass unknowingly at times. Because of this, it's constantly critical in our lifetimes to have some sort of vision at all times, some sort of planning. Whether it's plans to go to school, plans to start a career, or get a promotion, to get married, to work less maybe, or plans to make more money, and so on. In saying this, it's important to realize the things we want in order to best use the time we have, in order to be best positioned when the time does arrive, or opportunity happens to present itself. And the thing is, the time that I refer to often, well, to add another level, it is finite, and happens to be limited already. That we do know. And further still, at any moment, it can be cut even shorter than what it already is, or may be. So in regards to time, remind yourself to utilize it, to plan for it, while you have it, and while you can. So here we are again for another week's video, and as I often say, it's been fun, and I wouldn't have imagined back in August 2020 that I'd be at this point in my YouTube journey. It's been a process, but it's honestly something I do actually enjoy doing, and watching it slowly morph over time has been exciting. I mean, go back to my very first video and you'll see what I mean. I make these videos in a way for myself to also look back on someday, and it's nice to see that others have been enjoying these too. So it goes without saying, as you can notice, I often actually don't say it, but do hit the like button, as it does help, and do subscribe if you haven't yet already, as this journey will not be ending anytime soon. And soon, we'll be at the 1 year YouTube channel mark, as well as the 1 year mark of this dividend portfolio. Moving forward still, as you noted by the title of this video, I have a new tweak to my current financial goals, which I previously made a video on as well in the recent past, which I'll link down below if you're curious. But no, it doesn't involve any changes to the actual dividend portfolio strategy. That is my cornerstone, and I really do enjoy that level and pace of investing. The plan is for that process to hopefully live on as long as I will. And I will say, this new tweak honestly doesn't really change much of my overall financial plans and initial goals. At least not yet. What most will change by this tweak is part of my financial mindset when it comes to my overall financial strategy. And as I like to continually share my financial planning and goals with you all for documentation purposes as part of this channel, the ultimate goal remains unchanged, being to reach financial freedom as early as we can. Well, this new tweak is to start building up my cash reserve, and I will explain why in a bit here. But as a reminder to those that are new, I'm unmarried, I have no kids, no house mortgage, I still rent, and I do live with a long-term girlfriend of approaching 5 years together now. I say this to reflect the fact that what I'm doing or capable of doing is on a one-person income, meaning my ability to save money is primarily determined by a sole contributor, myself. I will say though, working as a registered nurse does tend to help this a bit. So as I was mentioning, my new goal is to save cash, and this is to be ready for any potential investing opportunities that may arise. You see, this last week, as I always do, I was checking out my Zillow, and I saw a nice investing opportunity, and I realized I wasn't quite ready to invest into real estate, although I look at it daily. I mean, technically I have the assets to sell, to come up with a down payment, or to engage in these investment opportunities, but the caveat is if I really wanted to, but the realization is that I would have to. I would have to liquidate and sell my assets, which I'm not in favor of doing, at least not at this point in time. Prior to this, my previous plan was somewhat similar in the sense to save additional leftover cash for distinctive purposes of saving up for a house, specifically, and plans to save up for a car in the future. With my new slight tweak, I plan to save up cash to just save up cash, building up a cash reserve that will be part of my overall financial portfolio that I can use in a variety of ways that I believe may be beneficial in the coming time, as there are moments when cash is king in the market. And as we've noted, the markets are booming right now. There is the risk that while accumulating cash, that inflation will continue on, and sitting money on the sidelines may be losing money. But I believe at the moment, I will eventually see power in holding cash in the future, and it might be better to start now. Seeing multiple investable real estate properties over time has made me realize I have the buying power for a house or land for investment purposes, but it would mean needing to liquidate some of my other holdings in my financial portfolio. If you're curious, yes, I do have money outside of the bank and outside of this dividend portfolio that I've had even before this dividend portfolio, back when I was in college. One in a cryptocurrency that I've been in for years now, and no, it's not Dogecoin. And my other is in money in a biotech stock that I watch go from a penny stock now being listed on the NASDAQ. And for those that have been investing in biotech stock know the process is slow, but the reward may be high. But time will say for either of these. Well, in seeing real estate recently, land and homes, I'm realizing that because I'm so heavily invested, I'm just not ready with the cash power on hand to make moves if an opportunity presents itself, without needing to first liquidate parts of my financial positions that are currently in play. And I realize that I don't like this feeling too much. In my opinion, there's a lot of power in holding cash at the right time. My idea is to build up my cash reserve starting now, so if a time or when that time comes, I'll be ready. Or at the very least be ready to strike when an opportunity that does make sense for me appears, when I'm actively searching. I'm not necessarily saying the market will crash, but I do believe the market cannot go up forever. And looking at history, it hasn't always continually gone up without stumbling along the way. And sure, it did stumble recently, but that was a very quick recovery. I will say, however, holding excess cash does tend to make me feel more comfortable knowing I have my cornerstone in a dividend investing strategy, which is a rather conservative, very long-term, and not as volatile form of investing as investing tends to go. But as always, time will tell. And just to recap, my plan isn't to endlessly accumulate cash or mindlessly accumulate cash, but I believe I'll slowly come up with a nice level of cash reserve that I'm comfortable with to add to my overall financial portfolio, potentially for a rainy day of the market, and if not for a rainy day in the market, for a good investing opportunity that may fast track my overall financial journey. And with this, let's go ahead and start wrapping up this week's video and go into the portfolio review for this last week. So here we are currently in the Jesse's Cash Flow portfolio, currently sitting at $28,846. This is with an all-time return of 39.88%. We continue to hover around the 40% return mark. This equates to an overall portfolio gain of $4,685. And it's been a couple weeks now where we continually sit with a market gain of over $4,000. And of the earned dividends, it's $359. So one thing to note is this past week was actually my rather flattest week I've ever had. I mean, it's kind of like the definition of a flat week in the market. Had a total return of 0.01%, almost non-existent return, equated to $2.75. If we go look at the month chart, we can see the market was going up. It was doing fairly well. And overall in the month view, we got a 2.34% return, which equates to a total gain of the portfolio of $635. So not too bad. Progress is progress. And just going down here just for a split second, if you are curious to see exactly what it is that I'm holding in my portfolio on any given day, normally it's going to be the same thing. And I don't really sell too much. My overall strategy is just to pick the stocks, sell them only if there really is a reason to sell them, and just to keep funneling money into the portfolio, watching it compound and watching it grow over time. And the drip is activated. If you want to take a look though specifically, there'll be a link down in the description box below to sharing my pie, which is the nice feature that M1 Finance does do. So check that out if you're curious. Now making way into a very busy activity section for this last week. We're going to start here on June 7th, getting paid by the Southern Company, $3.15. Then on June 8th, getting paid by Johnson & Johnson, $3.92. And then on June 9th, getting paid by ADM Co., $3.28. So 369, add the pennies, we're about at $11 here from just these 3 dividend payouts. And then also here on June 9th, we got our $500 deposit into the portfolio, just like we always do, week after week. And this led to a $13 snowball, which is a very good size. As you can see here on June 10th, we got paid by Chevron, $3.31. And then ExxonMobil, $3.84. Also getting paid by IBM here, $2.32. And then by Snap-on, $1.58. And then Sunoco Products, of course, $1.71. And then as you can see here on June 11th, a nice size dividend payout of over $5 by Walgreens, Boot Alliance. But that's going to be it for this week's video. And just to go in line here with trying to build up my cash reserve, what a better way to show this off than showing a cash balance of $20, all pretty much from earned dividends, which is pretty neat to see. But we'll continue to see how the markets react. It's nice to see we're nearly approaching the 29K mark. And if that's the case, if the market continues to do what it does, or even if it remains flat, and potentially maybe in 3 weeks, we'll be at the 30K mark. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on next week's video. Good luck to your next 7 days, and I will see you then. And as always, keep investing and take care.